Hello, peace be with you. The last couple of weeks have been really exciting because for the first time for several months, 6 people have been able to meet together in the garden, and that has meant that for me, I've been able to invite my friends over for coffee more than one at a time, and it has been great fun. On sunny days, we've just sat out on the terrace, and on cold days, I've lit the fire pit in the corner of my garden, and we've sat around the fire drinking tea, listening to the birds around us, and catching up on things that are important to us. It's been really good, because friends are important. I'd like to tell you a story about friends. It's not a Bible story, but I think it's a story that still has great truth in it. Some of you may remember hearing me tell this story before. It's called Little Beaver and the Echo, and I'll try to show you some of the pictures as we go through. Little Beaver lived all alone by the edge of a big pond. He didn't have any brothers, he didn't have any sisters, and worst of all, he didn't have any friends. One day, sitting by the side of the pond, he began to cry. He cried out loud, and then he cried out louder. Suddenly he heard something very strange. On the other side of the pond, someone else was crying too. Little Beaver stopped crying and listened. The other crying stopped too, and Little Beaver was alone again. "Boo-hoo," he said. "Boo-hoo," said the voice from across the pond. "Wah," said Little Beaver. "Wah," said the voice from across the pond. Little Beaver stopped crying. "Hello," he called. "Hello," said the voice from across the pond. "Why are you crying?" asked Little Beaver. "Why are you crying?" asked the voice from across the pond. Little Beaver thought for a moment. "I'm lonely," he said. "I need a friend." "I'm lonely," said the voice from across the pond. "I need a friend." Little Beaver couldn't believe it. On the other side of the pond lived somebody else who was sad and needed a friend. Little Beaver got into his boat and set off to find them. It was a big pond. He paddled and paddled. Then he saw a young duck swimming in circles all by himself. "I'm looking for someone who needs a friend," said Little Beaver. "Was it you who was crying?" "I do need a friend," said the duck, "but it wasn't me who was crying." "I'll be your friend," said Little Beaver. "Come with me." So the duck jumped into the boat. They paddled and paddled. Then they saw a young otter sliding up and down the bank all by himself. "We're looking for someone who needs a friend," said Little Beaver. "Was it you who was crying?" "I do need a friend," said the otter, "but it wasn't me who was crying." "We'll be your friends," said Little Beaver and the duck. "Come with us." So the otter jumped into the boat. They paddled and paddled. Then they saw a young turtle sunning himself on a rock. "We're looking for someone who needs a friend," said Little Beaver. "Was it you who was crying?" "I do need a friend," said the turtle, "but it wasn't me who was crying." "We'll be your friends," said Little Beaver and the duck and the otter. "Come with us." Turtle jumped into the boat, and they paddled and paddled until they came to the very end of the pond. Here there lived a wise old beaver in a mud house all alone. Little Beaver told him how they'd paddled around the pond, trying to find out who was crying. "It wasn't the duck," he said. "It wasn't the otter, and it wasn't the turtle. Who was it?" "It was the Echo," said the wise old beaver. "Where does he live?" asked Little Beaver. On the other side of the pond, said the wise old beaver. No matter where you are, the echo is always across the pond from you. Why is he crying? Asked Little Beaver. When you are sad, the echo is sad, said the wise old beaver. But when you are happy, the echo is happy too. But how can I find him and be his friend? Asked Little Beaver. He doesn't have any friends, and nor do I. Except for me, said the duck. And me, said the otter. And me, said the turtle. Little Beaver looked surprised. Oh yes, he said. I have lots of friends now. And he was so happy that he said it again really loudly. I have lots of friends now. And from across the pond, a voice answered him. I have lots of friends now. You see, said the wise old beaver, when you are happy, the echo is happy. When you have friends, he has friends too. Hooray! Shouted Little Beaver and the duck and the otter and the turtle all together. And the echo shouted back to them. Hooray! Jesus knew it was important to have friends too. He invited 12 people to come and be his special friends. Jesus and those friends spent about 3 years of their lives doing everything together. I expect things weren't always easy, because sometimes things can be difficult between friends, but they always stuck together. Jesus was a great friend to the other 12. He liked having them around. He wanted to be with them, and they wanted to be with him. He told them all about God and about how living life God's way would be the best way to live. But more than anything, whether they got it right or wrong, whether they did what he wanted or not, Jesus loved his friends. And that just means that he always wanted what was best for them. He put them before himself, and sometimes they remembered to put other people first too, because that's one of the things that you have to do if you're going to be a good friend. You have to put your friends before yourself. I'd love to know what happened next between Little Beaver and the duck and the otter and the turtle. I expect that, like most of us with our friends, they had times when they got on really well and times when they disagreed a bit between themselves. But I hope that, like Jesus and his special friends, and like us and our special friends, that they remembered that to have a friend, you also have to be a friend, and that very often that means putting what someone else wants before what we want. I'm going to finish off with a prayer and ask God to help us to do that. And at the end, if you'd like to make it your prayer, feel free to say Amen. Loving God, thank you that you sent Jesus to be a friend to each and every one of us. Thank you for the people that you have sent to be friends to us. Help us to be good friends by not always wanting things our way, but by putting other people's needs first. Amen. Thank you for listening. See you again soon, I hope. Bye for now.